Hello YouTube, this is Sean Ryu and I'm back with another gear review video, and today it's going to be on the Black Diamond Spot. So let me go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off first by going over the specs on this. Claimed distance is 75 meters. Claimed high mode runtime is 50 hours. Claimed low mode runtime is 200 hours. Weight is 96 grams or 3.4 ounces. Battery is 3 AAAs. It's 130 lumens and beam type is flood or spot. It's got a red light and on and off lock switch. So let me go ahead and get started. First thing is, this is currently in lock mode. Way that you would actually disable that is if you hold down the top button, you'll see that little light flashing and then you'll get your beam that turns on. If you want to put it back into lock mode, you just hold down the button again and you'll see where it locks on there. What that does is it prevents from this turning on by hitting the top button. As you can tell, I'm hitting the top button and it's not cutting on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this video real quick. I'm going to cut the lights off and then I'm going to start going over the modes and how this thing works. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and just point it this way. That way I don't blind anyone. Way that it works is if you press the button once, you're going to get your main beam. If you actually hold the button down, it'll adjust. It'll cycle up and down just by holding down the button. Like so. If you want to turn it off, just press it again. That turns it off. Now the way that you actually enter into red mode is if you hold down the button. See how you got the two lights down here that are cut on? That's your red mode. Same thing, if you hold the button down, it'll go up and down. That way you can adjust your different amount of lumen or amount of power that this thing's putting out. If you want to go back into your high beam, just hold down the button and you're back in the high beam. Now the way that you actually switch this into like where the two LEDs are right here is if you press the button really quick. Now it's got these two flood beams that are on, and the same thing with this. If you hold down the button, it'll cycle on and off. And then what you can do is you can actually put in a strobe mode by pressing this thing 3 times really quick. So now it's in strobe mode. Cut it off by just pressing the button once and that'll turn the lamp off. And then if you hold it down, you can put it back in the lock mode. So right now it's back in the lock mode. So those are the different modes. You've got your main light, then you've got your floods, then you've got your red light. And then between your red light or your flood, you can put those in the strobe modes. In addition to that, just kind of show you what the band looks like. It's got an adjustment point right here, so that way you can adjust it. In addition to that, the way that you actually open this is if you look right here, you can put your thumb in there. You just kind of pry it open, and that's where you get your 3 batteries at. Like I said earlier, these are AAA batteries. Way that you close it, and the same way that you opened it. And it's got like a little tab right here. You just put those tabs in, and then you just lock it into place. This is water resistant. It's not considered waterproof, but I've used it plenty of times in the rain. For 2015, this was my backpacking headlamp that I use all the time. Like I said, battery life is pretty good on it. One of the things, I went on a trip and I was gone for 11 days, and the batteries that I had in it worked perfectly for me. I didn't have to change them out. They did kind of start going dead towards the end of the trip, and that included doing some night hiking. One other thing I did also want to mention is that when you actually have this headlamp on, and I got to take it back out of lock mode, you've got this right here where it's touch sensored, and if you touch it, well, let me turn the light back on. It'll put it back in a default setting that's got a pretty bright beam on it. So if you click it like I just did, it puts it into its highest, one of its highest settings. So like if you're wearing this on your head and you've got it in like a low beam, like I'll cycle it down like that, and then you just go and touch this. See how it goes back into a higher beam or a higher setting. So it's one of those things where maybe you're using a low beam and then you decide all of a sudden, you know, you need something that's got a lot more power and you don't want to have to cycle through this. You can just press that button and it'll take it back into a high beam. And then if you press it again, it'll take it back into the previous beam that you had it in before. Again, if you want to power it off or just put it in lock mode, just hold this button down. Oh. Then it goes back into lock mode. So that's my review of the 2015 Black Diamond Spot. As always, feel free to comment below if you have any kind of questions. Like, share, and subscribe. This is Sean Ryu. Thanks for watching.